Dear free spirit people, in this episode, I'm really appreciate. Thanks for having you, Big L Tom, to chat about what we need for our success in business, but also in life. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate.
You're welcome. Looking forward to it.
Cool. So last weekend, one company closed the doors. Modir. So what was your first thought if you read or heard about that?
The thought is pretty simple that we can only control things that are within our control. So the amount of brain cycles we waste on something outside of our control is less time we have for life.
Yes.
So there will be a million opinions online of what to do and what to prevent it, but you have to, when you hear things online, you have to say, okay, there's a cognitive bias, how people are programmed to think. And if you want to talk to somebody, it's probably better to ask them, what would you like to believe first? Because that's how they're going to interpret everything. And an example would be if you were a fan of Manchester United football team,
Mm.
and I was to say something about Arsenal, a rival, you're going to interpret it
Oh,
all really bad.
yeah.
Yeah. And if I say something about Manchester United, you're going to interpret it good. So no matter what I say, you're going to interpret it from what you want to believe. I'm not going to change your mind to,
Mm.
whatever. So people online, they will have an opinion, and it's okay to have opinions, but you have to say, well, where's this opinion coming from? So they're going to say, well, this company that went out of business, they were owned by an equity firm. So never join a company with an equity firm. And I say, well, is your company? Oh, no, no, we're not. Okay, I understand. But of course, equity firms, there's many examples without naming the companies right now that are owned by equity firms that are doing fantastic for decades. So, okay, that's not it. But if you were with a company that was privately owned, you would say, well, always do something was privately owned. But somebody's going to say, but then you can never see their financials. Oh, yeah,
Yes, of
yeah,
sure.
okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So you should only be with the public company. I say, are you with the public company? Well, just so happens I'm with a public company. And even if you're with a public company and you even see the financials, you're going to say, wait a minute, even if they're audited, they may not be true. Look at the big frauds on Wall Street. They say, all right, so public company, but they have to share their profits with the shareholders, and shareholders come first. But don't the owners come first? And you always should have it with just a really good-hearted owner. And what happens if the owner dies?
Mm.
Oh, never thought of
Shit.
that. Yeah. So the situation is everybody will say you have to join a company that's based like my company.
Yeah.
It's the only true one. And this is just how we are as humans.
Yeah,
No
I
offense. It's just
fully agree with you. Yeah.
so if you're private, you're going to say only private works. If you're public, only public works. If you're equity, only equity works. Uh, we're just highly biased humans. That's our flaw. And you say, well, they should be debt free.
Mm.
Well, the best companies in the world, like Berkshire Hathaway, one of the biggest ones
Yeah.
ever, I just looked up. Their debt was $122 billion, but they have $167 billion cash on hand, so they could pay it off at any time. So when you say, wait a minute, maybe the smartest companies are not debt free because they use debt for proper leverage or don't to prepay things. And by the way, you're debt free because you rented all the equipment. Yeah, yeah, it's there. So you can make up all these rules, and just a general rule is nothing really matters except the heart of the owner.
Mm. Okay.
So when
Yes.
when times get tough, what's the owner going to do? They're going to bail out or move on.
Mm.
You say, well, that would be an example of a lot of companies that have been around forever. I mean, Herbalife had tremendous problems in the
Mm.
80s, and Amway could have closed up in 79. And yeah. So you say, what's in the heart of the owners? The problem is owners die.
Mhm.
So that's not guaranteed either.
Yeah, definitely.
And you say, well, you have to pick it because of the product.
Mm.
Oh, all right. Because if you pick it because of the product, because as this product is a vitamin C with 100 milligrams.
Mhm.
And if that's the way of choosing a company, what are you going
Come
to do?
on.
Yeah. What if tomorrow somebody comes out with a product with 101 milligrams?
Then you are done.
So you throw away your old business and start again based upon that? Oh, yeah, yeah. So, and can products be changed along the way? Well, I hope so.
Or getting better, new innovation, or a
Yeah.
lower price, imagine.
Yeah, it could be competitive. Yeah. So if you join because of the product, no.
Mm.
You say, well, only if your upline has 21 years experience. And I say, well, how many years experience does your upline have? Oh, 21 years. Just a coincidence.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
and, and it just goes on. The compensation plan. I say, well, join because the compensation plan. Can companies change compensation plans?
yeah.
Yeah, all the
All the
time.
time.
So I wouldn't say it's impossible, but I just looked up on what was it, Grok here. There are 6,000 network marketing companies in 2024. It doesn't know, it just guessed. But you say, all right, how are you going to guess which ones are going to make it? You can't. Even if you have all the data and the data
Mm.
is all correct, you
Yeah.
still don't know. And you say, okay, so I just do my best. And the answer is, yeah.
Mm.
And everybody's going to give you advice based upon where they are right now.
Yeah.
And you see people move from a unilevel program to a breakaway, and they used to swear on unilevel, now they swear on
Mm.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, and all this is outside of our control.
Mm.
So you say, all right, so I shouldn't get tied up with all the politics and arguments. And I'm just saying, well, it's personal. Whatever you want to do for hobby and free time, that's up to you.
Mm.
But for business, that's probably not going to pay off. So what's going to pay off for us in network marketing? And the only thing we have in network marketing is our relationship with our team members and our customers.
Like the community as a family, I always
Yeah.
say.
So if the company tomorrow was outlawed because the company says your company starts with letter N, and every company starts with letter N is illegal now in the world.
Mm.
Well, the people that are loyal to you, the customers and team, will probably go with you somewhere else. That
Mm.
is your business.
Yes.
And not everybody will,
Of course.
because not everybody's loyal. They have other things going on in their lives. Other people see opportunities elsewhere, and sometimes we neglect them so much, or maybe abuse them so much. Oh, they probably shouldn't.
Hmm.
So our business is the relationship with the people we build, and this is kind of lost in the time of social media,
Mm.
because people in social media spend less time with a new person. As soon as they sponsor somebody new, they quickly look for the next one to sponsor instead of building a relationship, giving that person skills to move on.
Yes, fully agree.
So if you take somebody from zero, teach them some skills where they make a pretty good income, if something happens, there's a relationship there. They're going to
Mm.
appreciate that you took the time to change their life.
And
So
getting
that's our business.
friends. And
Yeah.
getting friends. Uh, of course, you are in this business since decades. What would you do
Yeah.
in the shoes of a distributor of Maudir, for example? What would you do in that case now? You are shocked and so on. What would you recommend to those people of Maudir?
Well, this is what happens. They're not going to take my recommendation because they have their own feelings. When this happens, you're shocked and you say, well, I can stay X amount of time in grief. For some people, they may need it, or how long, it's up to them, and then move on. So it's not coming. If it's not coming back, you move on.
Mm.
That's called life.
Mm.
And you say, okay, but when I move on, what's going to happen? This is interesting. For the first few months, their presentations will include their history of the old company and how they felt and the transition, of which nobody cares,
Yes.
instead of just getting on with it. Um, this is the harsh reality of the human mind. Uh, when we talk to humans, and a lot of this brain science has been around, let me see, about 28 years that's proven. But
Mm.
so about 28 years ago, 97, they really made it where it's irrefutable. And that is, we believe that we should talk to people, set an appointment, try to sell an appointment, sit down with them or meet with them over Zoom or something for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, give a presentation. And at the end of the presentation, the people weigh all the pros, all the cons, and make an intelligent decision whether to join or not based upon the wonderful data we have provided to them. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. That's how we believe because we see it on TV. That's how we sell. When I started, I gave these, this is embarrassing, 45-minute presentations.
Okay.
They were awesome. Nobody joined, but they were awesome.
Yes.
And since nobody joined, I figured they didn't have enough information. I found some more good benefits. I extended it to 90 minutes
Mm-hmm. Come on.
and nobody joined. And
You turned up to 3 hours.
yeah, I ruined two people's lives. So people always ask me, well, how do people make decisions? So if you're taking notes, I'll give you the shortcut so you don't have to go through all
Mm.
the neural brain science. The shortcut of how humans make decisions is number one, there's two things we should remember. Number one, they make them instantly. And number two, based upon zero information. And they go, oh, whoa, you've gone too far, you've lost it. And I said, yeah, I know. But when we talk to people, they're going to make an instant decision. The first 20 seconds at the max, maybe 30 seconds if they're like really slow. They're going to make a decision if they want what we have to offer or not. Because the way we're set up is when we walk down the street, our human brain can have one thought at a time.
Mm.
So we're looking around as we're thinking about this wonderful cat video we saw, and we're laughing to ourselves, and everything's normal. But as soon as something strange on the street happens, we say, all right, stop thinking about that cat video. I got to look at that squirrel turning somersaults in front of me. Why is that happening? The human brain can only have one thought at a time. So in order to have a new thought, it has to get rid of an old thought.
Mm.
So when we approach somebody, what we're saying is, stop your life, stop thinking whatever you're thinking, and let my thought in.
Nice.
And they're going to have to make a decision. Do I want to let your thought in? How long? Is it worth it or not? Because if not, let me get back to my life. All right. So how long will it take them to sort that out?
Mm.
Boy, think about it. Well, when I speak at groups, I do this experiment with them.
Mhm.
Because as soon as I say it, decisions happen instantly. I get all these twisted faces. And when I say there's no information, they lose it.
Mhm.
And I have a riot on my hands. So I say, okay, don't take my word on it. Just look at reality. I asked the group, how many people here in the group, is it okay if you let me take your children skydiving with me? And like that, they all make a decision.
Yes.
And
Immediately.
immediately, based upon, what's already in their mind. They haven't heard my information yet, but they make an immediate decision. Oh, no, you can't take my babies, or I would help push them out of the plane, those brats, whatever their
Mm.
relationship is with their kids. But I said, you made that decision before you heard that I'm a certified skydiver or not, before you heard that I'm
Exactly.
successful 3 out of 4 times, before
Mm.
I told you you're only going to jump 1 inch or 1 centimeter. You made the decision before the information. I says, is that fair? They said, no, but it's what happens in real life. And I says, that's what happens when we talk to people.
Yeah.
When we talk to people, they make an immediate decision Do I want the outcome you are promising or not? So I tell people, just think outcome. Let people know the outcome and they'll sort it out right away. And there's nothing in your presentation that'll probably change it. So I'll do two more examples here that are maybe
Mm-hmm.
all right on the edge, but here they are. I just asked the ladies, have you ever sometime in your lifetime met a young man, made up your mind about that young man and where that young man might fit in your life and made that decision within the first, I don't know, 30 seconds of meeting that young man? And they go, yeah, 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 all the time. And I asked the men, is that fair? They go, no, they haven't heard our presentation yet. They haven't seen our company video. And I says, that's what happens in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that are watching this and are still doubting it, I'll go a step further. How many people here watching this right now have ever entered a relationship or got married before you had all the information?
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
So we are doing all, you can say our decision is always driven by the emotion, but later on, the rational part, the neocortex, is starting to thinking and also talking, but immediately only emotion driven, right?
Yeah. They're going to look at my past experience, if my parents were network marketers or if something bad happened or if I have I can never be a salesman because of my self-image. They're going to, whatever programs are in their mind,
Yes.
they're going to look at that and make it an instant decision. They're going to say, do I want this outcome or not? If I don't want the outcome, we're done. Let's talk about the weather or get back to my cat videos. If they do want the outcome, they're going to say, let's talk, which means they have already made a yes decision to what we offer.
Mm.
Now what they want is this is where the presentation would come in. This is where some people want a lot of facts, some people want no facts, some people want a little bit of facts. But they say, give me enough information that makes me feel good. And, the accountants want to know everything. The sales people that we talk to want to know nothing. They're just ready to get going. So there's that initial decision where it happens. And that sorts people out. Now, when we give all the facts at the end, they might say, I really can't because based upon the facts, I'm located in a Mongolian prison and I don't really have a tax ID number. Okay,
Okay.
got it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I understand. Or once you did the presentation, you bored me so much, I'm just hoping I never have to see you again. I got that, yeah. But really, the whole action in our business happens in the first 20 seconds.
Okay, great. That's interesting. And in the other hand, 90% of the people are try to sell a product by using the rational arguments, the facts and figures. It's hard. It's probably very hard for the people to understand that we are social human beings driven by our emotion.
Yes, the emotion is necessary for a decision.
Mhm.
Facts really don't make a decision. They've done experiments for people with brain damage. They
Yes.
have the emotional part of the brain wiped out, and they can't really make decisions. So people have this whole body of experience that's we got to make these instant decisions because every second we got to make 100,000 decisions to stay alive. Pump blood over here, move this muscle, create 30,000 new digestive enzymes. We got all these things going on. So almost all of our decisions are automatic anyway. So it depends what we present to people. So the part of the business we can control is the words we say in those first few seconds. This is within our control. And they will respond differently depending on our skill set. An example.
Mhm.
I'm on a date with a young lady, and I say to the young lady, when I look in your eyes, time stands still. Or I could have rephrased it this way. Your face would stop a clock. Now, I described the exact same thing, but because I use different words, in one case, I might get a smile, in the other case, a punch in the nose.
Yes.
So think about this when we talk to people. We start off by saying, I'm a distributor for the wonderful company with the wonderful thing. It's probably going to have bad results.
Mm.
And I ask people, if you don't believe you should spend time learning the first few seconds, tell me what decision your brain makes after I say these first, 5 or 6 words. Uh, I come up to somebody and say, would you be interested in? And they go,
Mm,
sound like a salesman coming. The
yeah.
default decisions no already. But if I start off by saying, would it be okay if the default decision is, well, yeah, as long as it's, reasonable or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So just changing little tiny things in the beginning is our business, the part that we can control. We can't control the company finances. We can't control the government. We can't control any of that, but we can control the first things we say for sure.
Yes, definitely. I'm fully with you. Thank you. If, let's say, if you would be in the, let's say, 18 years old, but you are having all your knowledge, your skills and experience you have now, step by step, what would you do? Would you do to be quick as possible successful in this business?
Well, my son started when he was 16.
Oh, nice.
And he figured out that nobody's going to listen to him because he's a 16-year-old, long hair, uh, rock star drummer.
Yeah.
I forget. It was loud music, really
Okay,
loud.
okay.
And he says, but Dad, nobody's going to know if I'm on the phone. So we should start thinking about this.
Yes.
And, okay. So if you're 18 years old, people are going to make some judgments on us. I'm sorry.
Mm.
They're going to say, I'm not going to be taking some advice from you, but really, it's the outcome that we offer. I mean, if an 18-year-old came up to you and was a waiter and said, we have this special on sale, you might say, well, yeah, I'll take it. So if the outcome is good enough, we can kind of overcome some of our natural handicaps. So what would I do? I would make it as easy as possible for people to make a yes decision.
Nice one. That's cool.
And I think, okay, what objections would they have just based on their emotions? I don't want you to be a salesperson. I want to have an option. I don't want to feel pressured. I don't want to feel embarrassed if I'm not interested. I want to have an out in case you try to trap me or something. I mean, these are
And
legitimate feelings.
I do not have time.
Yeah. So I wrote a book for networkers called The Happy Network Marketer,
Yes, a
and
good
it's
one.
free.
Love it.
And
Yes.
and I just tell people, just read the icebreaker section. It's I don't know, it's going to take you half a cup of coffee and
Hmm.
10 minutes to read. And in there is an icebreaker called benefit plus permission. And I like this one because even at 18 years old, I could get away with this one. And what we do is mention a benefit that they might want, outcome, and then we give them permission to ask us for more if they made a yes decision that they want the outcome. And if they're not interested, the conversation can continue. And that way, for the person, there's no pressure. They're volunteering if they have interest. For us, there's no rejection. And to avoid rejection for new people in the business is huge. So how we do this is give people an option where they feel they're in control. We stand back saying, hey, I don't know what's going on with your life, whatever. It's just an option.
Hmm.
And so if you choose yes or no, it's okay. My job is just to give you the option. My son Keith, the drummer, he had this little story. I'm going to steal it from him. He said, imagine you and I sit down for a cup of coffee. The waitress comes and says, do you want cream with your coffee? And you say, yeah, of course I want cream with my coffee. And I say, no, I like mine black. She goes, but we have all natural cream. I said, that's okay. I just want mine black. No, no, no. Our cream comes from New Zealand. No, I prefer black coffee. Our test report shows that our cows can beat up everybody else's cows. Yeah, I said, I just don't want it. I don't want cream with my coffee. Thank you, though. The waitress goes back to the kitchen, takes the cream, slams it against the wall, and yells out, "I've been rejected. This is humiliating. I quit." And the manager says, "Oh, no, 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 don't you quit. I want you to follow up with him tomorrow. Call up tomorrow and say, do you want cream with your coffee now?" No. And this is how networkers do the business. And this is how I did the business when I started. I said,
Mhm.
no, um, it works like this. You give people an option, they choose it, and we get on with it. Because no matter what we offer, it's not for everybody. And let me do this benefit plus permission example. So let's just take a product that helped with arthritis, just for an example.
Mhm.
The benefit we could say to somebody, I say, "What's new with you?" Blah, blah, blah. They say, "What's new with you, Big Al?" I says, "Well, uh, my mom had arthritis for a long time, but she finally got rid of it." Benefit. Now,
Mhm.
at that moment, they can make an instant decision or not, can't they?
Yeah.
And then I give them permission. I say, "Would you like to know what she did?" Now, if they're not interested, well, no, not really. They continue the conversation about something else. Or, yeah, tell me what she did. And then I
Mhm.
would say these 4 words, "Then we should talk."
Then we should talk.
Good talk. That's it. And you say, "Well, what's another example?" You could say, "Well, you're at work tomorrow, and you say to your coworker, 'I think I'll be able to leave this job next March.'" And our uh, I have a plan. And the coworker says, "Take me with you. Don't leave me here alone."
Yes,
Oh, yeah. And I say, "So would you like to know my plan?" "Yeah." "Then we
we
should
have
talk."
talk.
Yeah. Or I could say, "Everybody hates my neighbor Bruno. Every morning, Bruno sits out in front of his house, sipping coffee, waving goodbye to everybody going to work. Because
I'm doing this. I'm living on the island, North Cyprus. I'm sitting
uh-huh.
exactly there on my balcony, drinking my coffee and say goodbye to the people who run for the bus or jump in the car
Yeah.
and crazy, crazy.
And I would say, "Would you like to know how Bruno pulled that off?"
Why not?
Yeah.
Yes, tell me.
Yeah. Well, then we should talk.
Nice
And you
one.
say, what an easy way of getting an appointment and everything. So just with a 3-minute instruction, we at least give them an icebreaker to get started. So they have a person in front of them who's already made a yes decision to want the outcome. They're way further ahead now than they're going to be 6 months with no training. And this is our job to help them kind of
Okay.
get ahead.
Tom, one question. Let's say you ask, would you like to know more about Bruno? He don't need alarm clock, or he is sitting by espresso on the balcony and say goodbye to all the people. And if the other guy say, no, I'm not interested. So you say, okay, have a good one, or you are asking a second different icebreaker.
No, you should say, "So what else is new with you?"
Okay.
Yeah, just it's okay. You could have friends and talk to people without them becoming a member of your business, because most people, billions are. But yeah, uh, give people an option. They know what's going on in their life now much more than we do.
Mm.
We don't know that 5 minutes before we talked to them, their mother passed away, or a child got in a fight at school, or we don't know what happened. So we give them the option, stand back and accept it. And just by starting off by saying, "Well, I'd like more people to say yes to me," just use something like this. There's
Mm.
hundreds of different icebreakers, but this is a nice one for people to start with because they feel so comfortable with it.
Mm. Mhm. I really love your icebreakers. You have created a tons of so, but I'm sure you're having three, four, five you favorite icebreaker. Could you share with us, with our audience, your really favorite icebreakers, please?
uh, um, Earlier, I mentioned a 5-word phrase. Would it be okay if? The default decision in humans' minds is to say yes before they even heard what the rest of the sentence is.
Okay.
They say, because you asked so politely, I'm glad to do it. I mean, as long as you're not asking me to move furniture or give you cash or something, if it's something reasonable. So if you use would it be okay if, you're probably going to get a yes decision unless you are just unreasonable. So we're going to use that for the second sentence. The first sentence is, we are going to look at how people make decisions, and that is, people don't make decisions, yes, for more benefits in their life. They make decisions, yes, to take care of problems in their life. Problems are more motivating than benefits.
Yeah.
So if you could say, we had this trip to Hawaii, but I got along without it so far, I'll be okay. But your house is burning, that's a problem.
Mm.
You say, well, you can live 5 years younger. Well, yeah, but you got this diagnosis. That's a problem.
Mm.
Problems are what we do. The only reason for business to exist is to solve people's problems.
Problems.
If they don't have a problem, why are we bothering them?
Mm.
I mean, if nobody got hungry, restaurants are out of business, nobody got sleepy, hotels are out of business, we've got to solve a problem.
Mm.
So probably a better icebreaker is this one. Do you have this problem? Question mark.
Mm-hmm.
And then you follow up with, would be okay if you could fix it.
Okay.
So you say, how does that sound in real life? Well, depending on your ability to have a decent conversation with people, you may already know their problem or be able to figure it out very quickly by using some sentences that would draw it out. But let's say you figured out their problem. You might say, well, here's the problem. Do you find it hard to lose weight? Yeah, I find it hard to lose weight. I exercise, I eat strange meals, I starve myself. No, it just keeps coming back. I said, would it be okay if you could fix that problem? No, that
Quite easy.
yeah, you've closed them before you've even started because they want the outcome. You say, do you hate wrinkles? Yeah. Would it be okay if you can make them smaller?
Of course.
Yeah. And you say, well, do you find dying early inconvenient? Well, yeah. Would it be okay if you could live longer? Yeah. I like using this one when I talk to clerks like at a gas station or petrol station. I say, does your job interfere with your week? Yeah, it takes up so much time. Would it be okay if they had 3-day weekends instead? Yeah. And we don't have to be superstars in network marketing. I mean, if you look at somebody 5 days a week, if you could just replace income from just one of those days, just one, 20% of their income, it would change that person's life forever. Something they can visualize. They may not be able to visualize never going to work, but they can visualize, oh, I love 3-day weekends. And if I had 3-day weekends forever, so I say, do you hate working Fridays? Yeah. Would it be okay if you had 3-day weekends forever?
Mm.
And they can visualize that one very clearly. It's not too far out of their comfort zone. And boy, think of the change somebody would have in their life if they had 3-day weekends with their family and they wouldn't, dread Monday so much. It'd be fantastic. So, do you have this problem? Would it be okay if you could fix it?
Okay.
Is probably the most direct, easiest icebreaker that people here could say, I could do this right away.
That's nice one. In my experience, I really love not the direct one, make a little curve like, do do you know somebody who is having troubles with, or do you know
Yeah.
somebody who is like to have paid holidays 5 weeks a year? You know somebody? I really like that because people are thinking, and often they say, why not for me?
Yeah.
Explain me, please. So I really love that one. Thank you so much for that one.
So as long as they're a problem they can fix, the reason problems are great is uh, it takes emotions to move us into action. Logic doesn't. So problems create automatic emotion. So it's kind of a shortcut where we don't have the skills yet to get emotion going. Just use a problem. It happens automatic.
Hey, cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate, and you are also funny. I see your knowledge are huge, but you also funny, and I really like it. Thank you so much. I hope to see you soon in another part of like an episode. And I'm starting with a university online course about this topic. So it's not that easy on the rules and based on the university, but I think we will do it and based on your informations you share with me. So thank you so much and all the best for you and your family and stay strong. Thank you so much, Tom.
Thank you. Enjoy the week.
Thanks, you too.